Today we're making a cutting board for a Christmas present, and we're even going to do some lasering and personalizing the cutting board. If you want to see how we do it, just stick with me and I'll show you how we do it. All right, I'm making a cutting board for a Christmas present to daughter-in-laws and daughters. This is the pattern that we're going to use. I'll probably put it on the band, double-side tape to the actual board. But in case you're interested, looks like we're about 12.5, and that's 20 inches. The main part of the board is roughly 15. And the thickness comes out, I'm using scraps, except this. This is a curly maple. That's a good piece of wood. But I had it left over from another project. This was a test piece, it's an offcut. But we're going to be putting conversions, you know, 1 pipe, 2 cups, 16 ounces, you know, put their name on it. And anyway, this is a test piece where you see where we dial it in. Or this is a setting we're going to be using. But on each side of it, so it will go down the middle. But on each side of it, I've got maple and walnut and cherry. And what I do, I take a board and I go through the joiner to get one surface, one edge flat and perpendicular. Then I go through the planer to get the 2 surfaces parallel. Then I come to the table saw and I take what's jointed against the fence and down, and I cut my strips. When I get my strips cut, I go through and I cull out. You know, and hopefully I get down to the point where I got enough to make it work. And like I say, mostly I try to use up my scraps, because scraps is good wood, but you know. So what I have done, I've kind of went through, kind of mixed and matched them to a pattern that seemed to be pleasing to the eye. And the piece I had right here, if you remember, I had some carvings on it, you know, to dial the settings in. Well, it wound up being 3.5 worked really well. So I planed it down, and I'm going to use this piece right here. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to glue it up in the clamps, and then once we come back after the glue up, I'll take a hand plane and plane it down, because figured wood like this is curly maple. A hand plane, you're gonna have some tear out, even if you got a brand new blaze, because figured wood, it don't like a thickness planer. So I can take a hand plane, keep my blade good and sharp, close the throat down, and that's how I got them pieces gone. So when I'm done, I'm either probably sand it down and then I'll take a hand plane to finish it off. Probably what I'm doing. So right now we're going to go ahead and glue it up. Like I've said in the past, you got to put the glue where you want it to go. You can't count on it going on there on its own. And the best glue spreading device is what I'm using right here. Your finger. I can feel little starred places. I always thought these cutting boards looked good. Bond 3 I like because you get a little more open time. You ain't got to be in a huge hurry. But you can't let the grass grow either. Okay. Well, all right, we got it glued up. Of all the operations in woodworking, I probably like gluing things up the least of all. But I'd rather glue up as to use metal fasteners, which you have to do that on occasion. So we gotta take it all. So we'll let that set up, and we'll come back and I'll show you how we get it all smoothed down. And so it's smoothed down, and then we'll have to do a little lasering. I'll show you a little bit of that. We got an X tool, F1, and we'll laser that thing. I think it's gonna be nice. We'll let that dry and we'll be back. I'll let this thing, where we are, it is set up plenty long enough. So let's go ahead and see what we got. I know I'm thinking about running it through the drum sander. Cause like I said yesterday, I kind of misspoke. This right here, the curly maple, a little glue right there. The curly maple, going through the thickness planer, even with new blades, I find it's a little tear out. And that's like most figured wood, but I'm thinking about getting it close with the drum sander. That would kind of hold a level, so to speak. Well, that thing is, that thing's stuck good to the tape. Look at here. So that would well, it kept it off of the see where I didn't use it. It got where I couldn't hardly use my clamps. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go set up the drum sander. That's what I'm gonna do, and see if we can't get this thing close. That way the drum sander can go through and be kind of like the planer, where it'll find be level. Palm sander or orbital sander, it will be forever. As most of you know that's watched my channel, I don't use a script. I know I said I was going to the drum sander, but what I decided to do is cut some of these sticking out way too far. We'll go ahead and get them cut off. That way I have a kind of a rectangle going through my drum sander. But the drum sander, I think, is going to be the way to go right here. I got it as smooth, it's flat, it's very good. So like I say, I'm gonna laser right through here. But now it's time to get our template on here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm on a double side tape. This is why we needed to get it smooth so this tape would stick and hold her still. I'm gonna run 3 runs. That might be overkill because this tape sticks good, but I do not want that thing to come off. Well, I do not want that thing to come off during the operation. So let's see if I can't put it. It's pressure activated, so as long as I don't put any pressure on it before I'm ready, I can still move it around. I think that's what I'm looking for right there. Now I'll have to have some help get it off. Now let's go bandsaw. We'll cut this thing out. At the router table, we use flush trim with the bearing to make an exact copy of the cutting board. This way you can make more than one alike, and it's pretty quick doing it this way. Flush trim bit. Now we're going to do the round over. We've got this thing smooth and ready to go, and what we're going to do, we're going to come in right here. We're going to take our X tool, F1 X tool. It's a little laser. We're going to burn in some measurements, conversions, like jars, tablespoon, this, you know. And then what I'll do, I'll show that a little bit of that to you, and we're just going to make a conversion. That way it can sit like this, and they're chopping, they can look at the conversion if they need to. It'd be a nice touch. Of course, we're going to put their name on it too. So now we're going to go to the laser. So what I got the X tool, my wife's X tool brought down here. The lighting is so much better here to do filming. This is what I've got, a little measuring conversion table, chart, and nice measuring cups, spoons, and jars, and got their name. I guess you can figure this is for Kara. There's the cutting board. We're going to take the X tool. You see, it only lasers right here in this area right here. So we got a straight edge. We're going to scoot it right down because we cannot do it all at one time. I think I can do half of it and then do the other half, but we'll see. So therefore, we'll have to move it along, and I need to keep the orientation where they'll be straight up this curly maple, if you know what I mean. That does it for the lasering. Let's take a look at it. like him hold fast. Turned out quite nice, don't you think? What I like about doing it this way, you get a personal touch. I'm going to put a little finish on it. We can call this whole project done. Y'all know I like shellac because it'll liable to be food on this thing. And I don't know. I know shellac is food safe, especially the way I do it. Now, if you go to the store, I know Home Depot, I'm assuming those sells it, I don't know. We'll just say big box store. Buy the shellac in the can there. It's not food safe. For them to make the shelf life longer, the process, whatever they do, they render it not food safe. So I mix my flake cuts up. The ones that watch me know I will do that. That way I can mix it up as I need it, and it's food safe. And also, I first started using it on the lathe. You get some plunky, soft wood, little areas that wind up being soft. And I would use shellac it would penetrate in and stiffen it up where I could turn it on the lathe. But then I realized it was a pretty good finish. So I got to using it to finish, and it is now my go-to finish. Well, we'll let that dry, add a few more coats, and then put some feet on it. I got a little feet to put on it. That way it won't be sliding around. And then we'll call this little deal done. So I think that's going to do it for us today. I went ahead and got my feet. Even got my little logo back here. Someone can look at this in 150 years, like, you know, it's going to be there 150 years. But anyway, this here is a cutting board. Like I say, I got some more to make. I'll do that on my wife's time. You know, y'all done seen one, ain't since seen another. I wouldn't think. What do you think, baby? Yeah. But anyway, I am going to call that on this one. I certainly appreciate y'all. If y'all are with me now, right now, through this, y'all are the troopers for sure. I got that from my granddaughter. She's pretty cool. By the way, we were talking about the logo. She's the one that designed my logo. Hit it out of the park, far as I'm concerned. But anyway, y'all be safe, happy woodworking, and we'll catch you on the next one.